Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 20 of Gotham called Under the Knife. And this is an alright episode. Some interesting things do happen, but I don't know, I just kind of was really hoping for a big punch, seeing as how we only have 2 episodes left, and I just didn't quite get it. I mean, we don't even get to see what happened to Fish Mooney since last time. And last time she got shot, which you think would be kind of important. Now, she is supposed to come back before the end of the season, but still. So let's get right into things. So here we get to see Bruce and Selina interacting a little bit more. And unsurprisingly, Bruce is not happy that Selina killed a guy, and Selina is taking the I did what I had to do thing. And, this does a nice job of sort of solidifying why Bruce is so against the idea of killing someone. Having seen someone die in front of him again at such a young age, it really does go a long way of showing you why Batman holds life sacred. Why he does not presume that he has the right to take another person's life. The real problem I have there is, though, that they just go for a completely black and white thing with Selina. They don't even show her having like a little bit of a private moment where she's a little freaked out over the fact that she killed somebody. Now, granted, Selina's had a hard life, and she does make a good point about her having done what she needed to do. But still, while she's pretty hardcore, I can't imagine that most 13-year-olds are so hardcore that they're not going to feel a little something over having pushed someone out a window. I kind of hope we get to see at least a little bit of that somewhere between now and the end of the season, but I'm not counting on it. But in any case, it was sort of nice sort of getting to see them sort of banter with each other a little bit and see that, there's some issues between Bruce and Selina, but he still thinks she's really hot and wants to spend time with her, which of course will turn into other things once they become adults. And, I even kind of like him even sort of saying like, yeah, so what if I want to hang out with Selina's because she's hot? That was cute. And they did sort of move forward with the whole who's the bad guy in Wayne Enterprises thing, which, okay, cool. Not super interesting, but at least the plot moved forward. The whole thing with the ogre, nothing really super interesting going on Jim's side of that. Although we did get to see a little bit more, him finally say that he does indeed love Leslie Tompkins, which is cool. Although I was watching that scene, it's like, okay, who takes a bath with their window open like that? I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to leave the window open when you're naked in the other room? Especially in a town like Gotham? I don't know. Oddly enough, this is one of I think this might really genuinely be the best Barbara episode of the show we've seen so far. And apparently Barbara is still letting Selina live at her place. I don't know, maybe Ivy's still hanging around there too. Who knows? But the fact that she's kind of an awful person actually saves Barbara's life from the ogre, which is both ironic and unintentionally hilarious to me. And it just kind of keeps going on there from there with this is unintentionally hilarious, like the whole thing where she doesn't run screaming from this guy, despite the fact that he's an enormous creepo who just sort of gives off those I'm a serial killer vibes. I mean, my God, I can't imagine any sane woman would want to be within 10 feet of this guy after some of the things he says. And yet, by the time when he whips it open, and shows Barbara into like the crazy murder storage room, there's this moment where she just looks at him, and there's this like sense that like she might be into this. I'm just thinking like, okay, at this point, I hope Barbara just becomes evil, and Jim has to take her down because they're not going to be able to do anything else interesting with this character. And screw it, let Leslie Tompkins be Batgirl's mom. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jim having to take down Barbara after she's become like some sort of evil serial killer, that sounds friggin' interesting, and might actually give Renee Montoya, one, a reason to return to the show, and B, the chance to do something interesting, which she has pretty much never had this entire season. And oh yeah, remember how there used to be a character named Crispus Allen on the show? Gee, whatever happened to that guy, huh? Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? The stuff with Penguin, yeah, not super interesting. Yeah, there really is the question of just how crazy and gullible is his mom. And it does look that by the time of Maroney being an enormous dick, she doesn't seem to, it seems like she really isn't buying into his whole I'm a good boy act anymore, which gets some unfortunate Asian guy murdered by Penguin. Yeah. The only thing, as a whole, though, I didn't really care for that stuff with Maroney. But just for that, except for that bit where he goes like, where Penguin's like, "I'm gonna get you for this," and he goes like, "Yeah, maybe you will, or maybe I'll dump your dead body in the river." Either way, ha ha ha. So yeah, honestly, I am kind of hoping for Penguin to pull this off, just because uh, it puts him in a position to be a real adversary for Fish Mooney whenever she comes back. I have a feeling that's kind of going to be what they might do with her in season 2. Jada Pinkett Smith has even said she's not going to be a regular, but I imagine she might come back for a series of episodes next season that would sort of be Fish comes back to get revenge on Penguin. And if we do lose, if Maroney does die, that means we lose David Zayas from the show, which would be a real shame. But it's not like they've been giving this guy really stellar material, and he is a good actor, and I'm sure there's other things he could be doing with his time. So, and despite it being ridiculous in more than one way, I actually did kind of enjoy what was going on with Eddie and the cop and Miss Kringle and all that. I mean, Eddie trying to stand up for her, and of course, the jerk cop is just like, "Dude, you are totally a virgin, aren't you?" And of course, this guy's just such a caricature of muscle-bound abuser guy. And of course, this guy's a cop, so he can slap Kringle around all he wants, and his cop buddies are going to make sure that nothing bad happens to him because oh yeah, it's not as bad enough in the Gotham PD with the corruption and the murder and the taking orders from gangsters within the police station. No, they've got to be down with domestic violence as well. Like, fucking hell. Come on, show. Give me a little more credit than this, okay? But the whole thing with Eddie just whipping out that knife and stabbing that guy to death in the street, I totally did not see that coming. I thought he was going to be in a situation where he just went to the guy and like, okay, yeah, you're stronger than me, but I'm smarter than you, and I'm going to completely ruin your life. It's sort of like how he got that job by framing the previous medical examiner. Instead, he just whips out the knife and stabs the dude to death. And then there's that whole oh dear thing while he's laughing, and that didn't go over well with a lot of people online. I actually like that because it to me says this is him realizing that he's taken a step down the road to madness, and he's both horrified by that, and he's also horrified by the realization that there's some small part of him that enjoyed what he did, that is enjoying that journey to just becoming this madman, the Riddler, Riddleman. So yeah, I mean, I can understand why people didn't like it, but to me, I think I kind of got what the show might have been trying to go for with that one. So I'll give it points for that. But yeah, it really feels like some stuff seriously needs to coalesce here on Gotham. We definitely need to put the chop to some characters, and some people just need to frickin' actually do something interesting. I mean, the big problem with this show has been pacing. It's either they throw something out there and they don't give it enough time to percolate into something real, or they stretch it out for seemingly like forever. And all I can say is I hope the show has learned its lessons for next season, because this show really does have everything it needs to be something really, really stellar. I mean, we've got a lot of good actors on here, and of course they have the Batman mythology to play with. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Who's Your Jedi. Till next time. Oh yeah, and did you notice that the crazy butler dude was played by the guy who was Moriarty on that one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation? Yeah, that was cool. Until next time, take care and have a good one.